Sh- Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders, the great most honorable world, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of sharing truth. Got this article in the Sun, and it's obviously about, China and America, and kind of like their conflict has been escalating since what's his name? Biden got in office. So it says what? War of the words. China threatens US with intense nuclear showdown as it ramps up atomic program as the vital deterrent against America. So it's funny as well. They mentioned the nuclear program, and if you know the scriptures, then you know nuclear warfare. That's how America's gonna come into an end. This place's judgment is gonna be delivered, man. You're gonna have all these nations, all the guys that are enemies, guys that are allies, turn on America and say, hey, look, they're going to hate the whore and burn it with fire, man, that nuclear fire. That's what's getting ready to go down upon America. So for them to be mentioning that, it's telling of the times. Because, what does it say? China's threatened the US with an intense nuclear showdown as it ramps up its atomic program. The CCP mouthpiece newspaper launched a blistering attack on the West, saying China's nuclear plan was now vital to the country's strategic deterrent against the US. And, the nuclear front is going to be the final escalation. But as well, like the main way that China and what do you call it? And China and and the US are doing in conflict now is monetarily, financially. That's the main fronts in which they're kind of is through the trade, through different deals, through certain products, basically trying to catch up with the US on certain developments, so that they can then overtake and bite market share from them in certain aspects. So, but these things are going to lead to that actual conflict, because you've also got the fuel. Is fuel the word I'm looking for? No, energy with how energy, like what the fuck is it called? Not nuclear, oil, gas. These things, mainly in the Middle East, their interests, and deals they be doing with Russia, deals they be doing with like Iran, Syria, whatever. These things are contentious to the US because it affects their power base. Affects their power base. So it says Hu Zijin, the editor of the Global Times, said the number of China's nuclear warheads must reach the quantity that makes US elites shiver. We must be prepared for an intense showdown between China and the US, who wrote in a chilling op-ed from the Chinese state-run newspaper. In that scenario, a large number of Dongfeng 41 and JL2 and JL3, both intercontinental range submarine launched ballistic missiles, which that's how a lot of these nukes get out, man. It's nuclear submarines where they're off the radar, and intercontinental. That's the thing. It's about crossing over and being able to make strikes on the US. That's why, like, where these vessels are, that depending on where they are, it's a threat. So this is, this conflict's been building, and it's how it's going to show out is with what nuclear warfare. It's gonna culminate in that nuclear warfare. So this is what pillar of our so it says will form the pillar of our strategic will. The number of China's nuclear warheads must reach. Is it repeating again? Yeah. Okay. So it says number of China's nuclear warheads must reach the quantity that makes the US elite shiver. Though they entertain the idea of should they entertain the idea of engaging in a military confrontation with China. Hostility is burning. Who said that the intensifying US strategic containment of China means it's important to keep rapidly increasing the number of nuclear warheads and strategic missiles. This is the thing, is like people in the modern day, they think like nukes aren't even a possibility to be fired. The only real worry they have is Iran, with like they're thinking, oh, if Iran gets it, that's it, it's a mess. Or maybe they're thinking like, India or Pakistan might fucking nuke each other. But hey, that's the thing, is whilst those things may occur, is America, they're really the main target. They're the main place that about. That's where people should be worried. It says what? This is a cornerstone of Yeah, this is a cornerstone of China's strategic deterrence against the US, he said. On the basis, we can calmly and actively manage divergences with Washington to avoid a minor incident sparking a war. US hostility towards China is burning. We must use our strength and consequences that Washington cannot afford to bear if it takes risky moves to keep them sober. Yeah, so they're saying, it's essentially like, look, if they're gonna have to make it so that if war does occur, it's gonna be on such a scale that they're not even gonna want to pursue it. So that's why they're saying like, yo, we need to get the nukes up. But that's the thing, is these things are decided, that they're ordained from on high. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is the one who's gonna decide, when these wars escalate, when missiles are shot, when people are gonna start getting, the war is gonna pop off. This is what comes after U.S. President Joe Biden's approval of extra weapons being shipped to Australia in preparation for a potential clash. Chinese President Xi Jinping has said he wants the country's military to be on par with the US within a decade and to have overtaken its rival by 2049, the 100th anniversary of the communist regime. So yeah, that's, it's about warfare. They know Esau's blessing. Well, Esau's blessing is a sword. That's how he's dominated the earth and maintained his position at the top for the longest. And this is what has been observed by all the other nations. So they're looking to catch up and compete. And like the main means of competition is having the same highest capability, which is what, nuclear missiles, having the possibility of popping out them nukes. That's what makes you a serious contender. Makes you a serious contender. Because okay, yeah. So let me read this. Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but they shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Yeah. Every battle of the warrior is with what? That's when you go to warfare, and how it's been, for thousands of years. It's been swords, shields, arrows, blood, armor, and men face to face. And even if you count after the inclusion of missiles, guns, bombs, it's still to an extent been just men just kind of there, utilizing these weaponries against each other. It's just the scale of destruction's increased. But it's like what it says, but this shall be burning and fuel of fire, and that's that nuclear warfare, that nuclear holocaust they call it, where it's just nukes hit, everything's wasted. You watch the footage of the atom bombs being tested. It's like they're just wiping out all forms of life in an area, and just bringing heavy levels of destruction. And then you have nuclear fallout, where it's just all the particles that will come raining down afterwards as well. It's basically just gonna be a massive, high level of intense fire and destruction, and that's how America's gonna go down with them nuclear missiles. So it's telling that that's Russia. China is what's the word? Stockpiling and fortifying nuclear missiles as a what do you call it? Deterrent, as a defense from the US. So it shows these things. It's people in the world, they really are just like that. It's far away, but it's going to be made more and more apparent that the shit's close, man. It's not been forgotten. Yaba Shem Shai is basically going to use it, man. It's a tool that's been made for a purpose, man. That glittering sword, man. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yaba Shem Shai. Shalom.